Hello and welcome to Old Lady Plays. I'm Kate, the old lady, and this is a one-off episode of a show I'm going to call Fixing Spurs. And this is my response as a Spurs fan to Daniel Levy's mind-blowing early sacking of Nuno. Let's just say one thing I have seen in my 50-odd years as a football fan is that teams which change their manager frequently do not do well. It is just pretty much a guaranteed way to leave yourself languishing further down the league. And here we are doing it again. We did it to Pochettino 10 games into the season or so, whatever it was. We did it with Mourinho with 10 games left in the season. Now we've done it with Nuno 10 games into the season. The whole thing is it's very frustrating. Anyway, what I think we need to do to fix Spurs, let's have a look at it. I've come over here and I've set myself up. We are already through to the first Premier League match. It's in the middle of August now. And as you can see, I have spent only a small amount of money. All of these transfers are from before I was here. Sarr being bought from Metz and then loaned back to them. He has been... I can't see it from here. Let's see. Sarr, there he is. He's loaned back to Metz for the year. So he's a decent looking center midfielder, a little slow but not a bad player. Emerson Royale will be playing on the right back for us as a regular sort of thing. Brian Hill will be playing as a young replacement player for a second string as he grows into the game and becomes a better and better player. So far he's fairly good. He's got a few holes in his game, but he's learning. And he's growing, so we'll see how he goes. Christian Romero, I rate this guy very well. I think he's seriously quite a good back. What I've seen of him so far I've really enjoyed, and he's on loan from Atalanta. So I'm quite happy with him. I think he's going to do a good job for us. Next we have Pierre Golini, who has come in as a backup goalkeeper, and given Lloris's fragility the last few years, we may need him. Let's be honest, Lloris isn't getting any younger. I think he's 35 or 36 now. So it's, like I say, he's not getting any younger. So it's nice to have a decent backup. He's fairly effective at everything he needs to do. He's unfortunately a little bit eccentric, but other than that, he's solid. Anticipation and agility are both good, as well as his handling, his one-on-ones, his reflexes, and so on. So, overall, I'm pretty happy with him. Two that I have brought in are two that you wouldn't really necessarily have expected me to be able to get with a budget of only 17 million. But with 17 million euros, I did manage to bring in Federico Bernardeschi from Juventus, and my goodness, he's a good one. And they sold him to us for almost nothing, and now he's worth between 40 and 50 million, so that's very nice. They sold him to us for about 8 million, 8.25 or something like that. He's basically to give us a little bit more depth up front. I want us to be able to handle the grind of, 2 cups plus the Europa Conference League and the Premier League. So I want a little bit of depth, and I think he provides it in a good way. And lastly, I got in Jeffrey Condogbia, and this was helped by the fact that Newcastle came in from Marcel Lavigny, who is a fullback that, while he has some fairly good physical tools, I'm not super impressed by his mental or technical tools. So I thought 10 million for him was a pretty good price, and I was pretty happy to get it. So I thought that was okay, and use some of the money from that to turn around and bring in Jeffrey Condogbia, and he is quite a nice player. Looking very much into seeing what he can do for us. He's fairly professional. He's a midfielder, dictates tempo and tries tricks. He can dribble fairly well. One of the things that I have done, and I will show you that now in the tactics, is there we go. In the tactics, I will show you that we are playing a vertical tiki-taka style, and it's not showing us here what's going on when we have it. Okay, well, I'll show it this way. Our attacking width is very narrow. That's a little odd. I didn't mean for that to be necessarily. Yeah, I wanted a little bit of width. We're going to underlap on the outsides and play outer defense. We're working the ball into the box, running at the defense. This is part of the key of this whole thing. Spurs have a forward line in Mora, Kane, and Son, who can all dribble with the ball and run directly at defenses. And all three of them are able to take on and beat defenses either by passing or by direct trickery or just good play. So my thinking in the setting up of this is that I want them running at the defense as much as possible. I want them picking up the ball from the midfield and having that ball passed into feet to Dele Alli or Ndombele, depending on who's playing up in this spot. Mora or Benedeschi over here, or Son or Bergwijn over this side. Kane or possibly Parrott, whom I might recall from his loan, up front. So with Højbjerg and Condogbia in midfield, or Højbjerg and Ndombele, or Skip and Ndombele, or Skip and Condogbia. So we've got a few options there. I'm happy with how that worked out. If we have a weakness, it's in defense. We do have Eric Dyer still in the defense, and I have no way to alleviate that situation. I would very much like to, but I don't have any way. We have Romero as the other basic center back. We have Sanchez, the Colombian, as the third man. So, you know, I don't rate Dyer. That's part of the problem, I think. I think he would make a much more useful defensive midfielder in the mold of McTominay. You know, the big man who can really dominate a midfield physically, than he is as a center back, where his lapses of concentration are costing the team repeatedly, either through deflections or not marking the man he was supposed to be marking, or turning like the Queen Mary when he needs to get turned around faster. Just a lot of things that he's just not good at in terms of being a center back. So, and unfortunately, because I came in after they had spent all the money on people like Sarr and all the rest of it, I wasn't able to spend any money on bringing in more defenders, which is what I would have liked to have done. I did need to strengthen the midfield a little bit in terms of the depth, and making sure that we had two really good dribblers of the ball to run with the ball at the defense. Again, this is an important part of the instructions for everybody in this team. In transition, we will be counter-pressing, countering, distributing the ball to the fullbacks, and taking short kicks. And otherwise, nothing and really surprising over here. Out of possession, we will have a higher line of engagement and a higher defensive line. We're trying to prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and we will be pressing more often. So that's how I'm planning to play. We're going to see how that works, and that's the philosophy behind how we're playing. I'm trying to think now why is... Oh, because he's... And this is Chelsea. No, I don't want him for that. I want Emerson Royale for that. Okay. Yeah. And there, yeah, look, you can see the only 2.5-star player in the team is Eric Dyer as a center back. And I just wish we had somebody else. I really do. I like him. He's a wonderful fella. I'm sure he's a terrific person, but I don't rate him as a center back. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm just going to cover what we're doing, not for this episode, sorry, for this part of the episode. I will tomorrow be going through the whole season, and then tomorrow night I will shoot the second part of this episode where we look at the results and I compare them to how whoever the to see how Nuno does in a vanilla season without my influence, and we'll see whether he gets through the season for a start. What I would like you to do, if you're interested, if you want to have the right to name one of the players in my next save, the main save for this year, which will be in Brazil, I'm giving you that little peek ahead. If you would like to name one of the players, then start now by guessing how many points we're going to get this season, and secondly, how many points do you think the team will get without us? Alright? I will not be offended if you think that the game will get more points than I will. That's entirely possible. So let me see what you've got. Give me your ideas. Let me know what you think. If you think we can outplay the computer manager, or whether the computer manager will beat us. It's going to be an interesting season. I'll be playing it as quickly as I can tomorrow, so I won't be keeping highlights or anything like that. I'm just going to race through the season as quickly as I can. And to be fair, there's a lot of games. So it might, it's 60 odd games. I'm going to be really playing pretty much all day. But that's okay. I will see you tomorrow, which will just be in a few seconds from your point of view. Alright, see you then. Bye-bye. Alright, welcome back. We are with Tottenham. It is now the end of the season, and I'm showing you the dynamics screen just because I think looks pretty nice. Excuse me, I don't know why this is showing up here. There we go. Let's make that go away. Anyway, as you can see, the dynamics are excellent, and excellent, and excellent. It's not terribly surprising. That is what I try and strive for, so that's rather good. So how have we done? How did you guess that we've done? Don't forget, we have to guess the number of points we're going to get. I'm trusting you to do it before the big reveal, which is going to come in just a moment. So take a second, write down a comment with the number of points you think we got. Okay? Have you done it now? I'll give you another 5 seconds. Okay, now let's go. So, how have we done? We've done very, very well. We've done very, very well. League positions. I wish it would show me this, but yeah, basically we've been in first for the last 15 weeks or so. Never dropped below third, fourth, I should say. So, yeah, very nice. Ended up with a 90-point finish. That's 4 points more than Spurs has ever gotten before. And 7 points clear at the top. Top goal scorer for us, Harry Kane, with 24 goals. You'll notice that he's the top goal scorer in every area. 9 more in the Europa Conference League, 3 more in the FA Cup, 7 more in the Carabao Cup. You'll notice we did not win the Europa Conference League. We lost 1-0 on a 92nd minute goal. Just really unfortunate, but there it is. We did win the FA Cup in extra time over Man United. 3-2 in extra time, I believe it was. And we lost the Carabao Cup final to, I think it was Liverpool. Anyway, so yeah, 90 points and a league and cup double. So I'd say that's a pretty good season. How have we done in terms of our transfers? Well, let's have a look. Transfer history. So here are the only transfers we brought in, right? Remember that Romero, Gil, Royal, and Sarr were from before we came. We brought in Bernadeschi for 8.25 million, Condogbia for 11.75 million, and Luis Philippe for 5.75 million. So between the three of them, we're looking at about 26 million that we spent. So I think that's a fairly small outlay for what we managed to get out of it. How did Bernadeschi do? Let's have a look. Can't really see them all here, but Europa League, 10 assists. Awfully nice. 3 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League, which is not too bad. And what else? He did okay in the FA Cup, better in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, he did very well for us, I think. Played, what does it say? 39 games plus 51 games, 8 goals, 19 assists. I'd call that a pretty good season from anybody. So I'm pretty happy with that. Condogbia played 50 games, 9 goals, 11 assists. Pretty darn good. A 7.16 rating. I like it very much. I think he's done very well. And I'm very happy with that. So, who was the other fellow that we had? Luis Philippe, who also came in, did a great job. 43 starts, 3 goals, 99% passing accuracy, 75% tackles. So I'm very pleased with this. I think he did very well, and would stand us in good stead going forward too. And remember, we got him for 5.75 million. He's now worth 55 to 60 million. Similarly, Condogbia is 49 to 64 million. We bought him for 11.75. And Bernadeschi worth 57 to 69 million. We bought him for 8. So I think we've done fairly well in terms of our transfer business. Tactics, we stayed with the one tactic throughout the year. I did occasionally toy with a counter-attacking version, but it didn't really come off very often. So really we stuck largely with this custom vertical tiki-taka. And I've been very happy with it. Very happy with it. So let's see how the rest of the squad did. Just 1 second here. Stats. Overall. Can I just get overall? There we go. That's what I want to see. So Harry Kane, 43 goals. Right? 43 goals. 24 in the Premier League and 19 in other comps. Not too darn bad. Dele Alli playing as a shadow striker, 25 goals, 13 assists. So I don't think he's done by any stretch. 14 goals and 6 assists from Mora. 12 and 19 from Sonny, 9 and 9 from Dombele, 9 and 11 from Condogbia, 8 and 19 from Bernadeschi. Just wonderful. Lo Celso managed to bag another 8. We are the top scoring team in the league. Let's just quickly roll that open. 86 goals, only 24 conceded, so we're the best scoring team in the league and the second best defense behind Man City, which is pretty darn good. I cannot complain about that at all. What else could we look at? I don't know that there is much else to look at. I think that's pretty much it. You can see the amount of green we've got in our season. Generally speaking, we've got one or two blemishes a month. Nothing in the first month, but then we've got 2 in the next, then 1, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 2, 3. But still, overall, I'd call that a pretty darn good season. And I think that it really settles my contention that it's possible to fix Spurs with just a small investment. The team has the talent. It needs just a little bit more depth, and not to be playing Eric Dyer at center back. That was the biggest change I think that we made, and I think it's made a huge difference. Dyer's a lovely fellow. I'm sure he's a wonderful contributor to charity and everything else. I just don't think he's a Premier League center back. He might be a Premier League defensive midfielder if they gave him a chance, but I don't think he is up to it as a center back. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the season and the series. Well, series, it's only just this one episode. I just wanted to try it out and see whether or not, in fact, it was possible to fix Spurs with just a small amount of difference. And I would say, based off this one season, it's definitely possible. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope that you have a great day, and take care.